So you're breathing in, you're breathing out, you're just neutralizing the circuit by bringing attention there through tapping, just acknowledging like all the crap going on in my life right now. You can say it out loud, you can say it to
I
yourself.
hate my contractors. What?
My freaking God.
We are back today, Heal Squad, with Dr. Kim DeRamo. If you enjoyed part one, you are going to love part two. We're diving into a little of the masculine feminine conversation that I dropped right at the end of the last episode. We're also going to talk about some techniques to shift your body's energy and how to work with your body's natural healing abilities and so much more. Kim, let's talk about the masculine feminine, because I think it's important just to make people aware, because so many of us are in that like, gotta achieve, gotta fight, gotta win, gotta succeed. And when we're trained, well, we don't even realize we're trained like that from go, men and women, but we're different. And so we're trained to grow up, get good grades, succeed, get a big job, go to college, make a lot of money, have kids, get married, get thrown in there too. And then it's like, health? Crickets. And then we wonder why we end up in these situations. But what I found so fascinating about your shift is, to me, it just felt like you were going from against your grain to your grain. You were going from highly masculine energy to softer feminine energy. And have you watched that be a critical thing for us to pay attention to?
It's a huge thing within each of us that we have these energies. The masculine is like the outer, the doing, the seen, productive. The feminine is the inner. It's the unseen. It's the not doing. It's the stillness. And we each need to have our own balance of what that is. So you might be a more naturally feminine person. You might be a more naturally masculine person, and you'll have your own balance. The other issue that happens with this is we have programming around each of these. So the programming in the masculine becomes like, I have to do more, I have to achieve. It's like the wounded masculine or the program masculine has this like out masculinize and like max down on this, like, oh, I've got to be productive. And what are we compensating for? Well, that's part of the programming. I'm not good enough. I've got to make sure I don't fail. These belief systems can be totally unconscious, and we're like, no, 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 I don't feel that way at all, but like there's an imbalance nonetheless. And so the
Mm-hmm.
body is going to show us with symptoms. We're like burnt out, we're exhausted, chronic fatigue syndrome, or like an illness that's not getting better no matter what we do, inflammation, arthritis, high blood pressure, overweight, I can't shed this weight. A lot of people will have like disease and infections that don't clear. I have chronic Epstein-Barr virus or Lyme disease, or, fill in the blank. And they just think like I'm broken, rather than, oh, if my body starts to regain balance, it will activate my immune system to do what it's designed to do, and my body can clear that infection. So everything we're looking at with like chronic illness that's not getting better no matter what you do has to do with this inner energy system, and not only the balance of masculine and feminine, but where are we in the unhealthy masculine or the unhealthy feminine and running these programs.
Yeah, and the balance isn't going to come from a pill. The pill, first of all, most pills aren't curing anything. They're just masking until, either it's going to accelerate or it's going to calm down. Really, we have to change, right? It's us that has to change.
One of the reasons I went into ER as my residency specialty is that is a wise use of that conventional medical system. If your arm's off, we get it back on. If you're in excruciating pain, we can throw the pill on and you feel better right now. Did we actually heal you? Absolutely not. And we're not even pretending to think that that's what we're doing, because like I said, this is a wise application for this model. When we think that the model has the answer for long-term health, that's when things go awry. So like you said in the first half, I'm going to keep up my existing lifestyle and I'm just going to override this pain. That's what got me into trouble. It wasn't until I really started listening to what's right about this I'm not getting. I got the download. And yeah, my ego might have not liked it. Like, I've got to overachieve to feel good about myself. But I actually got something way better. It's like, no, I can actually feel good about myself unconditionally. And then I can achieve from inspiration instead of fear. And
Mm.
that's what really was the gift that changed my whole foundation of life. And so if we're willing to listen to the symptoms, and that can be like the scariest thing, is you're like, no, no, just give me a pill. I don't want to feel any of it. Well, why would we do that? We start to realize, oh, wait a minute, there's wisdom in my body that goes beyond what I think about this. And if I'm willing to actually have the experience, my body can release this. I'll receive the download. It changes me, changes who I am in a very foundational way that actually creates the setup for all of the things I'm actually asking for. Because what was my heart's desire? Let me overachieve and avoid failure. No, no, no. That's nobody's inspiration. There's a true inspiration underneath that. Let me have a meaningful career, truly contributing to the world. Yes. Okay. There's energy in that. So would I be willing to go through some discomfort, temporarily to allow that to happen? Heck yes. And usually that temporary period of like inviting that energy to come up, letting the pain move through is very, very short lived, right? So instead of like years or months, it could be minutes. There are things we can do, and we can talk about that today,
Yeah.
to let the body process that energy very quickly. Suppressed emotions, traumas, belief systems, limiting beliefs about yourself, even lineage patterns from your family that you subconsciously took on. Your body can release that to get more in the template of who you really are.
Yeah, I think that's so important is to, and when people talk about downloads, sometimes people don't know what that is. And that's because they've never had enough stillness to even hear anything outside of what's on their to-do list, outside of what's in their environment around here. And so I think, like, for example, my happiest times have come when I have surrendered and I have been more my feminine and have been chill. What creeps in for me is I'm lame, I'm not doing enough, I should be working harder. And meanwhile, my hard work now is sometimes equivalent to other people's like 5%. Like I still operate on a really high level, but I'm not where I was. It's a big, big difference. And so, but I think that it's a hard thing for us to, because you're going against an incredible programming and training.
Society's done a really good job at having us not access our inner power. You cannot rule a global society or manipulate anyone when
Hmm.
they're not here, when they know the power is within themselves. It's just not possible. And so, one of the big things in society is like, let's have everybody never go into their feminine. So, we're going to shame the heck out of it. You're lazy. I mean, look what they do with women's sexuality. It's totally dragged through the gutter. If you're a woman and you're a sexual being, like you're a whore, there are really, really
Mhm.
derogatory, low frequency concepts around women and sexuality. And there's no coincidence that that is actually the vessel between the human and the divine. We have the divine vessel within us. There's a reason everybody, men want to look up a woman's skirt. Like there's a divine vessel up there. It's
Wait,
not just
wait, tell
about,
me about this divine vessel. What are you talking about? I've never heard this before.
okay, so the womb
So
is,
if we're whores, we're closer to God. I'm kidding.
if you open
I
your
was
sex,
taught to keep my legs closed, Dr. Kim, but I want
amen.
to
I
be a
was
divine
too.
vessel. I'm kidding. I'm
Well,
really
I grew
messing
up like
around.
10 minutes from you, and it was the same message, right? The like Italian messaging around like cross your legs. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the only messaging you got around your sexuality. There's a lot of negativity around that. But what's the truth? We talked about the divine masculine currents. Okay, so these are the energy currents, you could call it Kundalini, that move through the energy centers in the body. And all of these have been teased out now, not only in thousands and thousands of years of traditional medicine, but also in current electromagnetic studies to look at where energy coalesces in the body. And so they see these currents. These are the masculine and feminine energies. They're just different polarities of energy that course through our vessel. When these are open, we're regenerated, we're rejuvenated, our vessel's functioning, and we're cellular turnover is enhanced, like we stay young and vital and healthy.
This is when you
When
have
those are
sex, you're
obstructed,
saying?
it's not about having sex. It's about being at peace with expression, with embodiment, feeling, sensing, physical and emotional, and allowing the full expression. So if we hurt, we say, ow, right? Versus, I'm hurting, but uh, I'm sorry. I don't know why there's tears here. I'm so sorry. And we put on a smile. And so this is a completely different way.
Can you give us more examples? Because I was about to say, like, nobody has time to embody and to feel and do all of that. And also
I
I think some of these things, like, we don't really understand what they are. So even you just saying like, I'm, I don't know why I'm crying, like, that resonates, that connects. So give me more examples of that.
um in the culture, like, you've got this like hysterical woman. Let's make women feel wrong. Let's make everybody feel wrong for expressing emotion. And they do it by like the whole archetype of a hysterical woman and how shamed and wrong that is, as if there's no space for emotion in the workplace. Like, nothing could be further from the truth. Our emotional body is sensing exponentially beyond our brain left minded thinking and like calculation analytical. In fact, this served me immensely in the ER. Here we are with like tons of people everywhere. I was at Grady Hospital, a level one trauma center in the inner city of Atlanta, always loaded, always overloaded. And you had to make moment to moment on the spot decisions, like life altering decisions. You can't do that from your analytical mind. You got to be in the body. It's like you're the
Mm.
eye of the storm. I'm right here. I am listening. I am present. And I'm allowing that emotional body to register all of the information around me. Where do I need to go right now? Is this person going to go home, or do we need to, even if nothing comes up on the labs, I know there's something off. I'm admitting this person for further evaluation. Something's going on. You have that innate sense because you're using all of your circuitry. That has to do with the quote unquote sexual circuitry. But in our culture, we make that a sexual thing instead of a sensual thing. We make that about this like wrongness and morality. We shouldn't be opening those energy currents. But like I said, you can't control a global society with their own innate intelligence. And so, like, let's shut that down. That the vessel, the womb, is literally the interface between the human and the divine. And anyone who's had a child or just seen a child, it can feel that amazing love that's like beyond this world. It is inexplicable, right? Because love is a higher frequency than rationality. It is higher than what we can understand, what we could explain, what we could learn with the left brain. It is more powerful. And so when we open up that divine circuitry, the body can heal in miraculous ways that seem impossible in the conventional thinking.
Wow. So how do we open up our divine?
It's actually really easy. So, like we mentioned in the first episode about like sensing, start with the physical. There's a lot going on emotionally that's driving your outcomes, how much money you make, what's going on in your health. But you don't need to get there because most people are so disconnected. That's going to be a hard thing. Just start with the physical. Hey, body. How are you? There's actually a whole sequence in the Be Your Own Healer book where we start really, really gentle and then we increase that exercise. It's a daily exercise, takes just a few seconds to open up this circuitry with your body. So you just start by, again, relax the shoulders, which is gonna be enhanced if you tighten them first. All right, I'm 2% more relaxed. Hi, body. Here we are. There's a receptivity, there's a listening. It's not the same as what's going on? Tell me, body, tell me. There's a receptivity. That is always the first step. And so that is immediately going to shift your frequency, the vibration your body is in, your energy currents, opening up that circuitry that was previously closed, and registering it at the brain. Oh my gosh, I'm really feeling a lot of grief. I didn't even know that was there.
Hmm.
Start to register physical, emotional, at any level consciously that we previously had no access to.
Wow. Okay. And then what are some of the other ways that we can, or other modalities we can use to kind of shift our energies? I know EFT is something that you have done with me and I really love. I wish I had remembered it yesterday in my crazy stressful day. Um, but I really have found it to be incredibly helpful to remind me that I'm okay, that everything's fine.
So that first step with the awareness, even if all you do is like, I'm aware I'm not feeling how I want to feel. I'm aware my day is not going how I want it to go. You may only be just aware of the outer, like something's off, I want to change. That's enough. When we use EFT, we're actually neutralizing the blockage, the tension, the closure that has things contracted and not opening up. Like things are just not working out for me. My body's not healing itself. My kid's not behaving. I'm always late. Whatever the pattern is or circumstance, or like the habitual thing of like, oh my gosh, I'm always so tired. Doesn't matter. They will all respond to this. So it's the awareness. Okay, I'm not feeling the way I want to feel. What else is possible? So there's like that receptivity, and then we can use EFT tapping. And so what we're doing, and we kind of tap on whether it's like, I'm feeling all this back pain. We just acknowledge what we're feeling. Or I don't even know what I'm feeling. I'm just so annoyed with what's happening. We tap on these meridian points, which is electromagnetic currents. They're circuits. They've been dissected out anatomically. They are carrying ionic particles, electromagnetic circuitry, just like electricity, and we are neutralizing them. And so, what is this? We got resistance in the body that is not allowing the body to heal itself. Resistance in the body that's blocking health. That's all it is. When we tap these circuits, we're just neutralizing that. It's like you're cleaning out the pipes. So you're going to not just say, oh, I want to feel good. I want everything to be fine. You're actually going to acknowledge what is happening. You start with the truth. The truth will set you free. You're not going to get to a higher vibe or a better place. You actually have to be in the place you are in with more presence and awareness. So you're going to bring all of your sensation, all of your awareness to feeling what you're feeling. And you tap on these points. Like, I feel like absolute crap. I don't want to feel this. I'm rejecting myself. I'm rejecting my moment. I'm rejecting this experience. And you can tap with me because any of this is going to open up currents for you. So under the collarbone.
And it doesn't matter how many fingers you use, right?
Doesn't matter how many fingers you use. You can use 2 fingers on the smaller points. This is kind of a more general area under the collarbone. Really powerful acupressure point. Under the arm, right at the brow line, and then on top of the head. So you're breathing in, you're breathing out, you're just neutralizing the circuit by bringing attention there through tapping. You can add the words, just acknowledging like all the crap going on in my life right now. You can say it out loud. You can say it to
I
yourself.
hate my contractors. What?
My freaking contractors, I can't believe they're doing
But I
this.
love that I'm in a position to hate my contractors.
Amen. Under the eye. Maybe it's familiar. Oh, and I'm always meeting with people.
That's me
More
acknowledging
people.
whatever. Anyway.
More people disappointing me. More people not
Yes.
following
Oh
through
my
with my
God. Being disappointed left and fucking right. What?
right. So under the nose, this is a pattern for me.
This is a pattern for me.
I wonder what this pattern might be trying to show me.
I wonder what this pattern might be trying to show me that I wasn't thinking you wanted to show me,
Yeah, that I wasn't able to see
that I wasn't able to see
about how I'm being
about how I'm being.
that's not serving me.
Yeah, I'm overscheduled again.
Okay. Dissipating my energy. Dissipating my energy. Under the collarbone, not honoring myself.
Not honoring myself, yes.
And what I most deeply need.
And what I most deeply need.
What would it be like to honor myself in all my choices?
What would it feel like to honor myself in all of my choices?
And everything that brings up, right? Like, I don't have time, or I have to do this and this, or that wouldn't go over. It's just ideas. Under the arm, what would it take to honor myself unconditionally?
When you're doing the simultaneous, does it go at the same time? Because mine bounce back and forth sometimes.
You mean
Like
the
instead of
hands?
it being 1, 2, 3, it goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
matter.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
what is this
And you
saying
can do
about me?
these bilaterally. You could do them one side. You're just clearing the energy. And so basically you acknowledge like, and I kind of call it the tapping sandwich where it's like all the negative. This is freaking crazy. Who the hell do they think they are? Why is this happening? Everything unwanted.
It's your burn
And then,
journal on your body.
yes, yes, exactly. Journal on your body.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
And then the second step in between is like question mark. Like, what is this trying to tell me? Or what's happening here that I haven't seen? Or what would it take to let this pattern go? Or what might be possible I haven't considered, right? So we just get in the question. Curiosity shifts your physiology really powerfully. Now, the third step, which is actually the least important, is like the positive. And that's like, I stand for myself fully and my life works for me. Um, the people I hire are in alignment with what I'm actually asking for. It's easy, it's seamless. My life is in flow. That's the positive, and you could tap that in. But if you haven't done the first and the second part, and in my courses and in my work, when I work with groups of people, this is where we do like 90% is in the sort of like bringing up the core, neutralizing it, and then like the positive is kind of just an afterthought. It happens automatically. But that information won't go in if you haven't done those first two parts really well.
Yeah. I also think, really like stepping aside and just having conversations with yourself are so helpful. Like yesterday, my dad, my parents are my everything, right? My dad's my everything. I need to keep him safe and healthy. That's my goal in life. And so when he calls me and he's like on the edge, then I am so worried. And then that triggers me because my childhood was about helping to keep him alive with his low blood sugar attacks. So I'm like, oh my gosh, he's not okay. Now I have to go into some mode, which is now controlling and very. So I had to like talk to myself exactly even yesterday, being like, this is not real. This is not today. This is not back then. This is different. We're fine. Everything's going to be fine. Like you have to like talk yourself through is what's happening right now that big of a deal? There were some things that kept happening, like one thing after another. And I'm like, this is not going to be an issue in 1 hour. In 1 hour, all of this will be handled. Why am I going to spend so much time stressing about it right now and letting this completely take my day down? But you have to have techniques to get
Yes.
yourself through these things. Otherwise, it snowballs and it becomes this
Yes.
massive.
If you're talking to yourself while tapping, that information will go in. Like this is, it's okay. In a week, it's not going to matter. That won't actually go in if you're in the fight or flight. It's like, yes, it does matter. So none of that would really land. But if you neutralize by just tapping, what if it's all okay? What if there's a way this works out? Your system will let in the new information.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it fascinating?